Então galera, tudo bem? American Rifle Company, esse cara aqui, espetacular, ele está sempre trabalhando na evolução, procurando melhorar aquilo que já está lá. So what I tell them is, what you're looking for here is always the evolution of something and try to making something better than what it is, right? But it's hard for the people to understand that. Don't get me wrong, first time I saw you, I told you the video with the bowl, with the little thing, like, man, that video was amazing for me because I understood a lot of things.
Just try to do a simple explanation for what we, some of the features that we design into these. This is the new one, and we call it the Coup de Grâce right now. We'll see if that name sticks. I reserve the right to change the name at the last minute. We just introduced these. We haven't started taking orders yet. We're going to start soon. And it's basically, we'll start with the best price. We'll start with the best part, which is the price. We introduced it at $899. So and we'll get into the feature sets with this. And
it's gonna blow people out of the water.
You're gonna realize that there's just nothing else that even comes close to what we have here. So basically, it's a integral rail, integral lug, Remington 700 footprint, so it'll adapt to most of the Remington 700 chassis and stocks that are out there. It's optimized for use with an AW mag. However,
more ammo.
Yeah. However, it will function with an AI CS mag just fine. The only difference is in how the magazines hard stop against the bottom of the receiver. The AW mag will hard stop both on the front and the rear, which prevents the magazine from ever getting pushed up into the bolt. The other thing about the AW mag is that the bolt cycle is smoother because the AW mag, it's the better magazine, hands down, in my opinion. But it takes less force to push a cartridge out of the magazine, out of an AW magazine, than it does out of an AICS magazine. So that a properly functioning magazine has a lot to do with the smoothness of the bolt cycle. So again, this one is optimized for the AW, which is a double stack, true double stack all the way to the top, 10 round, pretty compact magazine, highly desirable. The real unique features about this action, besides its good looks and its price and its complete feature set, is it uses the same pivoting bolt handle. Same pivoting bolt handle. It uses the same concept that we used on the Archimedes that we introduced a few years ago. Only this bolt, right? The action can function with the bolt having the pivoting handle like this, or we can replace it with a non-pivoting handle, in which case it'll function more like a conventional bolt action, and that its primary extraction comes from this extraction cam, which is located in the same place as they generally are with other actions. Right? So the action the action can function both with the pivoting handle and with the fixed handle. But what's really cool, and it just keeps getting better, is that this bolt can be completely disassembled 100%. I'm going to put my glasses on to do this. It can be completely disassembled 100% without tools. And I'll do it for you just so you can see how fast and easy it is, right? And when I mean 100%, I mean like literally 100%. Right down. We're going to take this thing down all the way to every piece, right? There's the striker assembly. Right, and then this guy can come back out. The handle comes out, right? So we have all these pieces here, and then we can even take it down further. We can get all the way down to our extractor. Now there's a tiny little ball in here. I'm going to leave that ball in the pocket so we don't lose it, right? And then there's the extractor. I think the ball just stuck to my thumb. Yeah, you don't want to lose the little ball. Just going to leave that guy in there, right? And then there's the bolt shroud locking pin, the firing pin functions as a tool to remove the bolt shroud locking pin and the spring. And then the bolt handle, you can unscrew the bolt knob, but that's really not, that hardly classifies disassembly. That's every piece of the bolt. Now, we can reassemble the bolt, and without these two pieces here, the bolt shroud locking pin and the spring, and we can reassemble it without this spring and this bushing. This spring and the bushing, all it does, it biases the pivoting handle to the forward position. When we run, this is the pivoting handle. When we run with a non-pivoting handle, you don't need these two. You don't use those, right? So to put this back together, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to reassemble. Let's reassemble the bolt head first. We're just going to take the extractor. We're going to put it back in, right? And then that little ball falls in. We're going to take the spring, push it in there. And you can do this if you have strong thumbnails. I just got it. Yeah, you can do it with your thumbnails. So that spring gets tucked away in there. Now we have a properly functioning extractor. And then we want to reassemble our bolt shroud. So we take the bolt shroud locking pin and spring, put those two together. That guy goes in. And you can push down here.
Just twist it a little bit.
Yeah, you have to rotate it. There's a little tab that engages a little slot, and then you just have to feel that's in the right spot. You'll feel it pop back up. So that guy's back together. Then you want to reassemble this. We're going to drop the spring in, drop the bushing so the slopey side faces the opening that is notched for the pivoting handle, right? So we're going to drop that in there, and then we're going to I'm going to screw the bolt knob back onto the handle. All right, and then I'm going to put the handle in here. And it's the slopey side down against the bushing. Push that in like that, pops in, right? And then I'm going to take it, because I'm going to use this now. I'm going to use the bolt as the tool to recompress the mainspring, or to compress, or to install the mainspring. So here I have to remember how this goes. So I put the shroud back in. The bolt shroud locking pin is engaged with the bolt to prevent rotation. This guy here is where I'm going to use as a tool. That's the bolt head pin. We're going to use that as a tool. The firing pin has flats cut onto it. I'm going to orient the flats so they're this way. And I'm going to remember how that's oriented. And I'm going to hold it. I'm going to check it. I'm going to hold it, because now I have to pass the end of that firing pin. I have to pass it through the slot in here. So I'm going to come down, and it should just go right through. So I'm going to push all the way down. Then I need the cocking piece. I'm going to drop that onto the end of the firing pin. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees.
That's it.
So that's back together. Now I'm going to pull this back out, pop this back out, put the bolt head in, extractor towards the handle, right? Put the head pin back in, and then that guy.
Incredible.
Yeah, all the way down. You can't even do that with a Mauser.
And I know you like the Mauser.
Yeah, I love the Mausers.
In Brazil,
right?
like most of we have is military surplus. It's
Mausers are awesome, right? So that's back together. The other thing we have here, right? The other thing we have here is a trigger hanger that is adjustable fore and aft. So I'll show you how that works. Oh, just so you know, never mind. I forgot. We already talked about the bolt handle, the fixed handle. Yeah, okay, so I'm just going to show you how the trigger hanger works here. Right? So the trigger hanger, the trigger gets pinned off of the trigger hanger, and the pins actually stick out. They protrude from each side of the trigger hanger. And they have these little pointy ends. And those pointy ends basically drop into the receiver, right? And they ride slots, right? So the trigger hanger is trapped in the receiver by the pins. right? Its position is locked down with a little screw at the back, right? But the set screw in the front, it has a point, right? It's pointing, and that point just impinges on this surface here that's sloped, so that when we turn the set screw, if we tighten it, it'll drive this back. If we loosen it, and the bolt, the firing pin and the bolt is pushing forward now, right? By turning the set screw, right, the trigger will move either forward or backwards, right? And the reason that's good, I'm going to put this screw back in. When we want to, okay, I'm just going to leave it a little loose, right? And right now, when I close the bolt, the striker, the cocking piece it's dropping a little bit, and I don't want that, right? So if I turn this, if I turn this screw, now I'm pushing the trigger back, right? And now if I close it, now I have to cock on close a little bit, and I don't have a smooth close. I don't want that either. What I want is for it to just be neutral, right? I want, when I close the bolt, I want the bolt to hand the cocking piece off to the trigger as smoothly as possible. So now we have to, the trigger right now, since it's cocking on close, it's too far back. So what I want to do, I want to loosen this, right? I want to loosen this and drop. I want to bring the cocking piece down a little bit, right? Still cocking on close a little bit. Now you can I like setting it a different way, but I'll just keep going like this so we can just continue on that theme. So I'm just going to loosen a little bit more. And it's still doing it a little bit, still cocking on close a little bit. Loosen a little more. Right there, just about perfect, right? Super smooth. Now I want to lock it down. So I just go to here and turn that guy, lock it down, and now I've got super smooth bolt close. So, and it's a nice easy bolt lift. It's a 3-lug with a 70-degree bolt rotation. And I think, did we cover everything?
I think we did, but I have a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's a lot of things a lot of people in the industry now, because you can buy, especially in Brazil, because in Brazil it's so hard to get a rifle or a pistol, it doesn't matter, that sometimes people here, people in Brazil are looking for something that they can change calibers. Since I saw that the bolt came out, you can change the bolt head and change the caliber on your action.
These are available in long action and short action. Well, they're not available yet. We just introduced them. We haven't started taking orders. We will very soon. But we're going to make them in long action and short actions, and they can handle anything from a 223 on up to 3.3 at the pillar.
This is awesome.
And it's like so in a short action, for instance, it's just a bolt head change. Just if you want to go from 223 to 308, you just need a different bolt head. That's it.
And those are going to be available a little bit down the line, but
no, they'll be like as soon as we start, that people will be able to order them with their action. Because I mean, we have to make lots of them anyway.
Because this thing makes life like way easier, especially for us down there.
This one actually has a true floating bolt head as well. Let me get it out of there. This one has a true floating bolt head. It has it can articulate about it has 2 degrees of freedom, as we say. It can articulate about this axis and this axis, but not this one, right?
Right.
And the back of the bolt lugs, like remember the donut, the donut that we were talking about, right? These are not flat, right? Those are toroidal as well. However, the surface in this receiver is flat. The bearing surface within against which the bolt lugs come to bear. In this receiver, it is flat, which is different than our other actions. Our other actions had toroidal lugs on a spherical surface. This has toroidal lugs on a flat surface because we actually have an articulating bolt head, in this action. So, so there's no bolt lapping or anything like that required. And the heads, interchanging a head is literally just that easy, right? That's the head.
I have to tell this to the people in Portuguese. Então, o que ele acabou de fazer aqui agora, que eu perguntei para ele sobre a mudança de calibre. Então, se você faz a importação da arma, você pode importar essa arma com calibres diferentes, né? O pessoal que vai fazer o cano para você já deixa pronto, você pode comprar 2, 3 canos num kit e você só troca essa pecinha aqui, né? E dessa forma você consegue trocar o calibre aí de uma forma mais fácil. Eu vou traduzir para vocês toda aquela parte da montagem e desmontagem, depois eu falo, porque é muito interessante o papo com ele aqui. So, it's super easy.
Super easy, yeah. And you would just get this as a kit. It would come with the spring, the ball, the extractor, all put together.
It comes complete. And like, I will ask you this, I think I already know the answer, but so it will be easier for us to buy a barrel that is already made for this action, like a
pre-fit.
Pre-fit?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so
yeah, so with barrels with this action, for cartridges like 223 and in the 308 family, 6.5 Creedmoor, even in the long action, if you do like 270 Winchester, 300 or 3006, if they have a 473 or 12 millimeter diameter case head or smaller, you're going to want to run a conical breech, right, on the back of the barrel, right? Because if you're running an AICS magazine, you got to make sure that the point of the bullet enters the hole of the chamber. So, in that regard, but prefits will be available. I mean, we're going to sell them online. We're going to have other people make them as well. So, the bigger cartridges, like anything with a 532 case head, which is 13.5 millimeters on up. The 14.9 millimeter for 338 Lapua. I believe, I'm not sure 100% yet, but I believe those can use a flat breech. Nevertheless, a conical breech, in my opinion,
the best.
Yeah, because it just like if the point hits the bullet, if the point of the bullet hits the breech, it's going into the hole with a conical breech. Same might be true in some circumstances with a flat breech, but it will always go in with a conical breech. So, and this action required it because it's a 3 lug with a 6 o'clock lug when the bolt is open, and we did it specifically like this because we wanted to use it with the AIAW mag. The magazine's very important.
Yeah, of course.
And right, because most malfunctions are because of magazines.
1911s.
Yeah.
And we do have a lot of problems with magazines on 1911s there, so it's...
Magazines, like feeding, making good, reliable magazines that cooperate well with an action is always challenging. The easiest way to solve magazine problems is narrow things down to one cartridge. Like, I always like to go back to Mauser because they're awesome, but like an 8mm, an 8x57 Mauser, like a 98K, like the Germans used in World War II. That thing was like purpose built around an 8mm Mauser cartridge, and I mean those things they're going to function perfectly every time with that. Nowadays, people want general purpose magazines that can accommodate 6.5 Creedmoor, 308, just you name it. They're like they're just gonna. That's what people want what they want, and. Having a magazine optimized for every cartridge just isn't practical. So the AIAW does a pretty good job, which is why we chose it. We also make a magazine ourselves. It's double stack center feed. A little harder to get that thing to run reliably than it is to get a true double stack like the AW to run reliably. So
it's easier to go with the AW in here, the accuracy.
I like that. Yeah, I like the AW for this action.
A lot of people already have those magazines.
Yeah, but also a lot of people have an AICS magazine. You can also run an AICS with these. It's not as good with that, but it's 100. Well, let's go into that. The AW mag hard stops on the bottom of the receiver, so you can't be pushed in. The AICS mag hard stops only at the back. Right, so technically, if you put the gun down on the magazine, the magazine will pitch up. The AICS magazine only will pitch up, right, and the tips of the feed lips will get in the way of the bolt. But when you drive the bolt forward, you'll push them back down because the back of the feed lips didn't get in front of the bolt. So the bolt will get up over the feed lips, contact them, and drive it back down. Now, easy way to remedy that: don't set the gun down on the magazine. But if you want to safeguard against that circumstance, if you actually do set it down on a mag, right? What we do, we also make a chassis with Xilo, and now we've
very nice.
Yeah, thank you. But now we've been cutting a slot in the chassis to accommodate a little tab that you can put between the chassis and the receiver, and the tab is basically held in place by the forward guard screw hole, right? The tab extends into the magazine well, so as to act as a hard stop for the AICS magazine, for the front of the AICS magazine. Again, it's not necessary, but
it's good to have.
If you're
when you need it,
if you
it's
want
gonna be there.
Yeah, if you want to cover all the bases, fine, get it. I personally wouldn't use it, but I think it'll be fine either way.
This piece is amazing.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful action light.
Oh, yeah,
if you look
is.
at how the way we styled the back of it, and it's got a beautiful bolt shroud, and it blends. Everything's nice.
Everything is nice.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
20 MOA rail, 14 slots. Yeah, it's got everything. It's got everything you need and nothing you don't.
It's incredible. Como ele falou agora no finalzinho, vou traduzir essa parte. Tem tudo que você precisa e nada do que você não precisa. Né? Se você prestar atenção no design, todo que é colocado, inclusive a parte de trás, é perfeito. Como ele disse no começo, né? Você consegue botar aí as peças do Hamilton 700, então é super compatível. Ele explicou pra gente aqui o trigger hanger que você consegue melhorar, deixar super smooth aqui a operação, né? Pô, é espetacular. E esse cara é fantástico. This guy is amazing. You know, like, you sit with him. Quando você... Well, I'll say this in English to you and I'll translate right after. When you sit with him, you learn stuff. That's the nice thing. You learn, you see and you understand why this is here. Because most of the people, they just go a brand, like, I don't know, an X brand, whatever. They go, oh, okay, so that guy uses, but they don't understand. With you, it's amazing because now, okay, so I know this is here because of this.
So
it's incredible.
We try to, like, if we do something new, for anything that we do that's new, we did it because we thought there was a good reason to do it, and really, like, so this action is basically a collage of all the lessons learned. This is, I think, the 7th action I designed. Or 6, at least 6. There was a very early one that I did that was significantly different than the one that came after it. So this one's actually probably 7. And we've learned a lot over the years. And a lot of what we learn just comes from people's opinions, right? The market wants what it wants, you know. Most actions cock on close a little bit, but as of a few years ago, people became sensitive to that. Now they don't want that, and then they want to use different triggers, but different triggers have different. The sear bars on triggers are different, so So then we come up with this trigger hanger system. It's a little. I mean, this trigger hanger's been around for a long time, but nobody's done an adjustable one like this. Not that we know of. So,
a vantagem que ele está explicando pra gente aqui é que no trigger hanger que ele vai fornecer, que vende, já vem com ela, você pode comprar outro, você pode trocar o gatilho. The simple part is, for example, if you're going to use this for hunter, it's simple just to take, but this is not only... Mas só trocar o gatilho não é o interessante. O interessante é que você consegue, como ele mostrou pra gente, fazer com que o bolt opere da melhor forma possível. Então aquela forçadinha que você tem que dá aquela mexidinha, aquilo ali some. Então fica que nem manteiga mesmo, é espetacular, a coisa aqui é top notch. My friend, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. I will translate everything, and I'm pretty sure people in Brazil are gonna love this video. I love you before. When I saw that thing, I'm like, what is this? And for sure people are gonna get to know you more and more in Brazil, and thanks for spending your time and explain this amazing piece.
Yeah, happy to. I'm just, it's just great to be here with you guys. And
Thank you.
I like SHOT Show. The good things happen at SHOT Show. There's a lot of bright people here that, like, we were talking to some guys yesterday, and it's just never ceases to amaze me some of the technical talent that's here. It's pretty good. Guns have always been driving innovation and manufacturing technology and stuff like that. And today we're living. This is the best time to be alive for guns. It's been better than any other time in history.
They have super machines now, like I don't know, 7 axles. You can.
We have them.
See?
Well, yeah, we know. So,
all right, man. Thank you. Thanks a lot for the help.
Hey, take care. Thank you.